To single guys out there, because that's a lot of our demographic is like men 18 to 35. You have had plenty of experience dating, right? What would you say
Mating, not dating.
mating? Okay. What would you say most guys are getting wrong in terms of dating?
You can't get too caught up in a relationship at a young age. You just can't.
What is a young age? How old?
18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 18 to 25. And then it depends on what you've accomplished while you're 18 to 25. You can't get into a relationship unless you got your shit together and you got your life on track and you're moving in the direction you need to be and you're self-sufficient, and you're stable. And then the other person should be stable too. I mean, and then, really, you shouldn't really be I wouldn't see people having kids till like 30. I think 30 is really the right year to maybe start thinking about having kids if you're successful and stable and comfortable in your life.
Isn't that early? Because if you're 20, let's just say you're 26, you got your life together and you meet someone, then it's also like, well, you got to date him for a few years and then you got to get married and then it's like another year and then you're 35.
Okay, whatever. Listen, everybody's different. You never
context.
know. It's all about meeting somebody that's going to make your life pleasant and productive, whether it's money-wise or home life. Like my wife, she don't work, but I still feel like she's productive because she's got her responsibilities. She's got the house, she's got the kids, she's got our life, she's involved. Okay. It's got to be people that, and we're opposites, 100% opposite in every way. Imagine that.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny how you say, oh, well, this person likes doing this and I like doing that. Me and my wife are opposites. And it works. I mean, everybody's different. We're all human. But, you really shouldn't get caught up in a relationship until you got your own together. And you got some money, you got your career going, you got your goals set, you're on the right track, you take care of yourself, and, because dating, you can start dating, you can start spending money. You want to wine and dine, you want to have a fancy car, you want to have a nicer place. A lot of people don't want to struggle. They want it right now. They want to live it now. And that's how they fuck up their credit and, and then put themselves in a hole they can't get out of. That's the worst thing in the world is to dig yourself in a hole where it's almost impossible to get out of.
Do you think guys should pay for taking the girl out every single time?
I mean, yeah, I think that, he's still a man, okay? I think, it depends. I mean, to me, yeah. If you're a guy and you're dating a woman, listen, no matter all the crap that goes on these days, it's still pretty much expected, It's funny, all these women's lib, and they want to be equal, but when you go out to dinner, they sure want you to pay the bill, don't they? Yeah. So, I don't know. It's just, it's a human custom, I think, that's been just, the man's a man still, and typically, let's face it, men make more money than women. And women ain't going to do a lot of jobs men do.
So are there certain things, though, in a relationship that you would say, look out for this, beware of this, that you've learned this is like a bad characteristic or a red flag?
You got to know when the flags pop up and the signals pop up. You got to.
So what are signals that you should be privy to?
Anything that you feel is not, conforming with your life. I mean, when you stop seeing like people, you like a girl and she's whatever, super hot and she got a lot of good qualities, but maybe she drinks too much. Maybe that's, not, a good sign, if they overindulge in anything, in no moderation or, the person's got to match you and what your goals are in life. If they want to constantly worry about party, then, it's not going to get you nowhere. It's going to take you down the wrong road. Because the party is over the next day and you forget all about it anyway. So what the hell?
How much more did it motivate you to make money and be successful having a wife and having kids?
I mean, having the kids definitely was a motivation, knowing that I need money. I gotta pay for these kids' food. I gotta pay for these kids. I gotta have a decent place to live. I gotta have a decent car to get around with. I gotta have them in school. It costs money. Kids are not cheap, and you don't want to, have a kid and raise them like, a piece of shit like I was raised, See, coming from such a bad upbringing made me, have a bigger desire to really do well for my kids and give them a good life.
Ben Mallah, Thank you so much for coming on the Ice
Thank
Coffee
you for
Hour.
coming to my house and occupying it.
Thank you for
100%.
having us here. I gotta say, I've
Yeah.
seen this house in plenty of different videos. This is way more impressive. And I had very high expectations. This is
Ooh.
way better
It's beautiful,
than
man.
I thought.
That's
Well,
really a
it
gorgeous
all
house.
could be yours.
What low
as
price?
long as it has a 3 in front of 1,
2
2, 3,
zeros.
4,
2
5,
zeros.
6,
How about it could be
7,
a
8.
3 in front of the 1, 13.
Well, because you're a cheap bastard. That's
Or
why.
the 1
3
in front of
behind
the
a 1.
3
You
behind
always
a-
want to bargain. You
Yeah.
want to bargain, but that's fine. But the people I'm going to sell this house to are not really going to care that much. They're going to say, "Well, I'm paying what the going rate is. If I wanted 3 lots on the Gulf of America." My wife's pissed about that. Why does he do that? Does he do it just to irritate people to Gulf of America?
Probably. Yeah.
Is that just part of his obnoxious
it's a
ego?
talking point. Now we're
I mean, don't
talking
get me
about it.
wrong.
We're
I'm
bringing
not
more
talking to
attention
the guy,
to
but
it.
if that
He does
sticks,
things on purpose because he knows he likes to shock you. New Yorkers like to shock you. They like to stick it in there and start some. That's the New York mentality.
I think he just likes
And
being
it
talked about.
helps a lot, but
Yeah.
sometimes he goes a little too far.
well, also, it's like cementing his legacy. Like, if that sticks,
Yeah.
then he's the guy that turned it into.
I'm the guy that changed it to Gulf of America. Anyway, it is what it is. But where were we at?
I was
forgot
saying
where
thank
we're
you
at,
for coming on the
Thanks
show.
for coming
Thank you for
out.
inviting us into your house. And guys, if you're interested in some consulting,
Mhm.
Go to benmallah.com and consult with Ben. Okay, because I'm not bragging, but I'm just going to tell you right now, you're not going to find anybody with 30 years experience that's accumulated all the real estate wealth I have that's going to give you a straight answer, not with a hidden agenda, and looking to take anything from you. Just help you out and get you on the right track and answer questions if I can. And if I can't, I'll try to find the answer or, find somebody that does have the answer.
and you need to raise prices because I think you're underselling yourself.
Well,
but
you know,
if that's an
Booking-
the
you're
point
opportunity,
looking
is,
at a crazy
that's an
deal.
opportunity
This
for
is-
you guys.
This
That's
is an
it.
arbitrage
I'm not looking to
opportunity.
get
we're
rich
not
on
making
it.
any money off this, by
I'm
the
not
way.
looking to get
Someone
rich
could
on
book
it.
your call and then upsell it somewhere else and then
Well,
profit the difference.
I'm not looking to get rich. I already am considered rich, I guess. So, it helps a little, but I like helping people. Okay, imagine if the whole world helped each other. Can you imagine that? How better a world we'd all live in? I don't even know, why are we fighting wars anymore? Why are we even going to violence and destruction and all? Why are there so many
we
fucking
got to put you
idiots
in
still
charge.
in the world?
If you were in
Why?
charge, Ben.
Can't they solve any problem by pretty much money, or necessity they need? I mean, I don't understand war. It makes no sense to me whatsoever. How they can take something that's running and good and destroy it, blow up buildings, destroy people's lives. Where does it benefit? I don't understand. There's no benefit in it. There's nothing in it for anybody. And then if you do win, all right, now you're stuck with a bombed out place. What the is the point? What is the problem here? And whenever people have conflict, they need to sit down, okay? And there's 2 sides to every story. But, the problem is that I think we're dealing with people who are just irrational. The Middle East has always been irrational. They're not rational. And then the communists are not rational because they want to control everything. It makes no sense to control people. For what? You're not here that long. What is Putin in his 70s now? He ain't going to be around that
Is he in
long.
his 70s?
He's pretty
He's
ripped,
in good
though.
shape.
Really?
He's
Yeah.
in good shape.
Wow.
But, why? Why? There's no reason in the world to kill people and destroy people's lives. There's no logical reason for that. I can't think of one. I just don't. I can't. When things are peaceful, let them be peaceful. If you have differences, then figure out how you can work those differences out. But to kill people and destroy places makes no sense to me whatsoever. It just makes no sense. Humans, I'm sure, with all the technology we have, we're going to planets and all the AI and the computers and all this. Let's face it, humans evolve very quickly lately, too. If you notice, I mean, think back only 50 years ago, how the world was so different. But we can't be human and treat each other with respect and just get along peacefully. I don't understand it. It's like we're animals. We got to get rid of that animalistic mentality, okay, and not even let it be tolerated in society. And all the criminal there's no room in this world for criminals. People that want to hurt you or, rob you. There's just no room for that. There's just no room in the world anymore. I'm surprised that we haven't evolved into a more peaceful society. It's unbelievable.
You guys got to vote Mallah 2028.
Not the job for me.
I feel like you'd be a good president.
You'd be great.
We'd at least have really good infrastructure and housing.
Good negotiations, too.
I
Just
could have tried to become the
terms.
Department of HUD, yeah. I mean, listen, affordable, I believe in everything. I believe in affordable housing. I believe in helping people, and it makes the world a better place. But the people that don't want to act right, there's just no room for them in society. I'm sorry. How many millions of people are in jails? It's ridiculous. And why are they there? And how did they grow up and how did they get there? We need to change our whole society. And eventually all the cuckoos and bad people will just eventually die off from that, hopefully natural causes or whatever, kill each other. And then you'll just have good people left in the world. I don't know. I don't know the answer, but maybe you guys do.